Hey, how's it going, everybody? We got our first sponsor of the podcast, and it comes to you from Mariscos Pago. This guy, he's my buddy. I went to high school with him. I know what I'm talking about. This guy can fucking cook. If you guys like mariscos, and this is for everybody in the San Diego County area, if you guys like mariscos and you guys want some quality stuff, man, this is the guy. He's been doing this shit for 7 years. 7 years. He worked at one restaurant in downtown, and then he worked for 6 years at the Hilton Hotels restaurant. He did that. He ran both kitchens. By the end of the time he was there, he ran the whole damn kitchen, man. This guy knows how to freaking cook, and I'm telling you, it is delicious. Mariscos El Vago, best damn place ever. He's open from Thursday to Sunday, 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. If you're gonna call and order, you gotta give him an hour and a half so he can be able to deliver it. And guess what? Delivery is free. It comes with a promotion from the Hambino podcast. So if you guys gonna order, I recommend it. You gotta order it through his phone number. All right, it's 619-389-8410. Again, that is 619-389-8410. If you guys want to check out the menu, guess what? Guys on Facebook. You got to look them up as Mariscos Vago. Or you can hit them up on Instagram. You can actually see the type of food this guy's got. It looks delicious, man. The freaking aguachile, mira. Delicious. You can hook him up there. He's under Mariscos_Vago. You can look it up there. You can hit him up. Remember, you got to give him an hour and a half if you guys going to order ahead. So I recommend it. You got the cookout coming up on the weekend. You got family over. You don't want to cook. This guy's got you. He's got the big trays coming for you and everything, man. Just remember, you got to mention the Hambino podcast to be able to get that free delivery. All right. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to the second episode of the Hambino podcast. I'm your host, Chris Hernandez, and what an extraordinary week that we've had. Honestly, baseball's getting closer. I can't wait for that to happen. And then just big news. We can start with LeBron James. I mean, he's not a baseball player, but guess what? He's now baseball related. Why? Because he is about to become part owner of the Boston Red Sox. He invested a significantly amount of money into the Fenway Sports Group. I mean, it still has to get approved by MLB. It's still in contingency. I mean, it can take up to a couple weeks, but it has been reported by the Boston Globe that LeBron is about to become part owner of the Red Sox, also by doing the investment that he did. His ownership stocks with European soccer team Liverpool has increased as well. So, I mean, it's a great investment for LeBron James. I mean, it's kind of crazy that we still have an NBA player, a top NBA player, and he's part owner of a Major League Baseball team. It's kind of insane. But by making this move, him and Maverick Carter just became the first Black partners for FSG. So, I mean, big things coming to Boston. Kind of sucks for them because LeBron James has murdered the Celtics. But, I mean, hopefully this helps out Boston. I mean, they've been through a couple rough years lately, and hopefully it gets them back into that top elite spot that they wish they could have. So let's hope for the best. And then in other news, Trevor Bauer is in talks again. It seems like he got a warning from MLB about marketing his own brand, which is kind of weird since last year they wanted MLB players to market themselves. It's like, come on, MLB, what do you want? All right, do you want these guys to market themselves? you don't want them to, I mean, it doesn't affect them in any way. I mean, it's just an extra thing for players to show their brands and get some extra revenue on top of whatever they get paid, and hopefully raises their value for teams. I mean, if they have a good marketing for themselves, obviously you're going to get that fan base that they have to whatever team they go to. And then you're going to be able to buy and sell jerseys and stuff like that. I mean, I don't see a problem with players marketing themselves. But, I mean, it also kind of sucks that it has to get to this, that he gets a letter, and obviously Trevor Bauer is not going to stay quiet. He's not the type of person that's kind of very reserved. He went online on Twitter and just posted the pictures like, really, MLB? First you tell me I can, now you telling me I can't. What the hell is going on here? It's like unbelievable. I mean, hopefully, I don't know if he's going to keep on doing it. We'll see what happens. I don't know if he's going to challenge him and see if he gets fined or anything like that. That's basically what they told him, that he needs to stop or he's going to get fined. Let's see what happens during the regular season. But, I mean, the way Bauer's about himself, I mean, he's he's pitching with one eye closed, and he pegged the batter with it. It's kind of funny. But, I mean, the guy's just, he's in his prime years. He's pitching for the Dodgers in his prime years. I mean, if this helps the Dodgers get into the playoffs again and try to win that World Series, I don't think anybody's going to care about what he does off the field as long as he performs on the field. I mean, if he can't perform, then people are going to talk shit to him, and especially Dodger fans are going to talk shit to him. And knowing Bauer, he's going to be like, F you, I'll go for a trade. But, I mean, hopefully he can keep up the success, and hopefully he can get a repeat for the National League Cy Young Award. I mean, he's already going into the Padres. He's talking smack to the Padres. He's trying to get into Manny Machado's head again. I mean, it looks to be like that rivalry is going to start to get a little bit more intense. So let's hope for the best. All of you Padres fans, I know you guys are wanting the Dodgers so bad. And the Dodgers, they're just like, Dodgers in 4. So, I mean, let's hope for the best, man. Let's hope for the best. Now we're gonna conclude the National League West today. We're gonna talk about the 3 remaining teams in the National League West. I wanted to start by talking about the Rockies. I mean, the Rockies had a very controversial offseason. I mean, this might have hurt some of the fans, but honestly, I think it was for the best for their team to trade their best player. They traded off the best third baseman in the league, being Nolan Arenado. And honestly, the players that they got back in return were, I mean, the most notable player that they got was Austin Gomber. But other than that, they got 4 minor league players. I don't know if it's because they're trying to rebuild. They're trying to have some good players in their farm system, since their farm system isn't the best out there. But I mean, it's just, I mean, they picked up 2 right-handed pitchers. Obviously, they got the left-hander with Austin Gomber, and they picked up a third baseman and a shortstop. The third baseman being Elias Montero, and shortstop Mateo Gil. So, I mean, hopefully they can fill up that spot in third base eventually with some of the players that they have. But, I mean, they traded off their best player, knowing that his contract was coming up, and maybe they just couldn't afford to pay what Arenado wanted. I know once he got traded to the Cardinals, he extended his contract by 1 year. But I mean, the Rockies ended up paying money for him to go as well. So they gave the Cardinals Arenado and cash in exchange for Gomber and 4 minor league players. So, I mean, Cardinals got one hell of a deal, honestly. But I mean, I don't know if the Rockies are trying to rebuild. Honestly, I don't think they have that great of a team at the moment, but I don't know. I mean, I know there's at least going to be two players that are going to have to carry this team on their back. Well, three players that have to carry this team on their back. And I mean, that being one of them being Trevor Story, which I mean, he's a great shortstop. I mean, in my opinion, I don't think he's gotten into that Troy Tulowitzki spot yet. But I mean, the guy's a great shortstop. I remember when his rookie year, he just had like what 10-game hitting streak, something like that, hitting home runs left and right. Everybody was like, "Whoa, where did this kid come from?" But I mean, he's batting an average of 277, 375 RBIs coming into his sixth season. His on base percentage is 343. So I mean, the guy's a good shortstop. Honestly, we all can start figuring out that if they're rebuilding, I don't think they're going to be rebuilding around Trevor Story. I think honestly they're going to try to cut down their contract a little, their salaries a little bit more. So I can see a Trevor Story trade. I don't know if it's before the season, mid-season, or late in the season, but there's already talks with the Rangers that they need a shortstop. I mean, with the Rangers trading off Elvis Andrus to the Athletics last year, they're going to need a shortstop. So I mean, obviously, it's not a short term fix for the Rangers, but in the long run, it's going to benefit Trevor Story if he ends up going to the Rangers. And I mean, for the Rockies, they're going to try to see if they can get, I don't know, a decent major league player or some more minor league players. Who knows? Obviously, you also still got Charlie Blackfin coming into his 11th season, the outfielder. I mean, career average 304, 553 RBIs, on base percentage 360. I mean, the guy can rack. I mean, the guy can hit. So him being a veteran coming into his 11th season, he's going to end up having to carry this team on his back as well, knowing that you don't have Arenado anymore that used to carry the team. So also you got two players that could be taking up Arenado's spot. One of them being Ryan Mcmahon coming into his 5th season. He's batting 237. I believe he plays third base and second base. He's had 130 RBIs. So, I mean, the guy's having a decent spring training right now. In 12 games, he's gotten 32 at-bats, 7 hits, 6 RBIs, batting 219. So, I mean, obviously he's not putting up those Arenado numbers. I mean, you're not going to get that anytime soon, but you just want somebody that can stay consistent in batting, trying to get on base and stuff like that. So try to just keep a good flow in that lineup. Also, you got Brendan Rodgers coming into his 3rd season. This guy, he's having a good spring training, but he hasn't seen that much play time in the actual regular season. I mean, he's batting 196 coming into his 3rd season, 9 RBIs, 462 on base percentage, and then 227 slugging. So, I mean, if they can give him some playing time, it could benefit him. I mean, right now in spring training, 10 games, 23 at bats. He's gotten 8 hits, 5 RBIs, and he's batting 348. So, I mean, now it's just depending what happens. I know that the Rockies right now have been giving more playing time to their minor league Colton Welker. He's been the one that's been having a lot more playing time during spring training. He's played for the Grand Junction Rockies, Asheville Tourists, Lancaster Jethawks, Harvard Yard Goats, the Salt River Rafters, and in 4 seasons in the minor leagues, he's batting 313, 204 RBIs, And then right now in spring training, the guy's having a really good spring training. I think he's the one that they've been playing at third base right now. 16 games, 27 at bats, 9 hits, 10 RBIs, and batting 333. So I mean, the guy's playing really good, better than the better than the two major leaguers that they got, trying to see if they're going to take off that spot. So I mean, if he doesn't take off that spot coming up right after spring training, I can assure you that if McMahon and or Rogers can't keep up being consistent in the majors, they might bring up Welker up and see if he can give him some nice at bats. But I mean, the third player I think that's going to end up carrying this team, carrying this pitching rotation, could be German Marquez. I mean, coming into a sixth season, 4.24 ERA, and then 8.5 Ks per nine. So the pitching rotation, what I predict that's going to be the pitching rotation for the Rockies. They're not the greatest players out there. I mean, Gomber's coming into his third season barely, so he hasn't gotten that veteran stuff yet. He doesn't have, in my opinion, I don't think he's gotten to that level yet that he can. He has matured to his best years to come, but these guys' ERA they're all above 4. Their Ks per nine, they're ranging around 6.5, 7 altogether. I mean, I don't think the Rockies are going to be relying most on their pitching. I think they're going to have to be playing a lot of small ball in order to stay competitive against the Dodgers, the Padres, the Giants. I mean, the Diamondbacks too. The Diamondbacks are also struggling, and we're going to get to that in a bit. But I mean, they got Kyle Freeland coming into his 5th season, and they got John Gray coming into his 7th season. I mean, other than that, I mean, the only other one that posting up good numbers and a little bit better numbers at German Marquez is Austin Gomber. But like I said, he's barely coming into his 3rd season, so he can have a bad year because it's his 3rd season. It's a new team, new division. So a lot of things come into play, and it was a crazy season last year. So you never know what could happen. You don't know what you can expect from these players. Basically, the players that the Rockies got in return for Arenado are not top players. So you don't know what you're getting. You'll see it down the road, but at the moment, it's not a big fix. So hopefully the Rockies can stay consistent, stay healthy. Maybe during the season they make some good trades and it benefits them, and they can stay competitive. Now moving into the other team, the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks were staying competitive against the Dodgers when the Padres are still rebuilding. Well, the Rockies were too, but then they traded off a lot of their players or they retired. But the Diamondbacks were putting up a good fights when they had Goldschmidt there before they traded him off to the Cardinals as well. I mean, the Cardinals is picking up players from the West, man. They know where the good league is. But I mean, they have 3 veteran major league players in their lineup. David Peralta, he's coming to his 8th season. Yes, he's had big highlights in his career with postseason playoffs and stuff like that. But he's batting .291, 364 RBIs, on the on-base percentage of .346, and the slugging of .475. So he can put up good numbers, but I mean, if if the other players can't stay consistent around him, it could be a struggle. I mean, he's not the type of player that can carry a team by himself. So I think these other two players are going to play a big role as well, since they're all veteran players. I mean, you got Asdrubal Cabrera coming into his 15th season. 15 seasons. He's batting a career 268, 827 RBIs, and an on-base percentage of 330, and a slugging of 426. I mean, it can be a lot if these three players can help and stay healthy. I know Cabrera has been getting injured a lot. I know Peralta can get injured a lot. So as long as they can stay healthy, this would really benefit them a lot. Also, you got Cole Calhoun that they picked up from the Angels. So you got Cole Calhoun that they picked up from the Angels coming into his 10th season. Career average 248. Runs batted in, he's got 491, an OBP of 323, and a slugging of 429. I mean, Cole Calhoun wasn't that big of a name with the Angels, in my opinion. He wasn't a star player, but he did help out a lot in just contact hitting, and then obviously in the outfield. I mean, he wasn't that big in the name because why you got Albert Pujols with the Angels, you had Mike Trout. I mean, you had other players that can put up good numbers, and also that benefited Cole Calhoun when he was in the lineup because they'd rather pitch to him than pitch to these other players. So I mean, he got a lot of good at bats, and that's why he has really good, decent numbers. So hopefully when he comes over, well, I mean, he's already with the Diamondbacks, but hopefully this coming season he can help out these other two guys and play those veteran roles, because honestly, the rest of their lineup, they haven't had that many years of experience, that many seasons in. So being in this competitive of a league, being the National League West, it honestly, it's one of the best leagues you can be in. I know a lot of people back in the day were like, oh, American League East. But man, has the West grown. It has outgrown the East, in my opinion. So, I mean, hopefully it helps out. I mean, right now, the Diamondbacks have a okay pitching rotation. Obviously, you got Matt Bum, great left-hander. He's coming into his 13th season. He's got an ERA of 3.24, 8.4 Ks per 9. Obviously, if Matt Bum can stay healthy, he can keep his temper cool and not blab and bitch and complain at every goddamn player that hits a home run off of him, he can be a good player again. It's like, dude, people are gonna bat flip you. You're Madison Bumgarner. Hell, if I was in the major leagues and I can hit a home run off of you, of a guy that basically carried the Giants to a World Series championship against the Royals, if I hit a fucking home run against you, I'm a bat flip the shit out of that bat. I mean, it takes pride. You're a really good pitcher. If a batter beats you to it, tip your hat to him. He beat you. He beat you with your best pitch. So I mean, he's over there just freaking screaming at players, running to first base. It's just causing problems. But I mean, he puts up good numbers, so they're gonna put up with it. You got Luke Weber. Luke Weber, 6th season, ERA of 4.71, 9.8 Ks per 9. Oh, you got a decent pitcher right there. Caleb Smith. He's coming into his 5th season, 4.55 ERA, 9 Ks per 9. You got Merrill Kelly, his 3rd season, 4.15, 8 Ks per 9. And you got Zach Gallen, dude. This guy, I mean, yes, he's barely coming into his 3rd season, but he has a 2.78 ERA. and he's got 10.5 Ks per 9 innings. I mean, he has really good numbers, but yet again, he's coming into his third season. And it kind of benefited him that last year was a short season. So that's also why his career numbers are kind of looking good right now. But let's see how he does coming into a full season of 162 games, and hopefully he can help out this pitching rotation and help out the Diamondbacks. Because man, I'm telling you, the West is stacked with good teams. And now, in my opinion, the four other pitchers other than Bumgarner, like my baseball coach when I was younger would say, les falta desarrollar gallo, meaning they have to grow that, like that you want to get that hard skin. That's what they need. They need to like kind of like roughen up a bit and just nail it. I mean, that's what Matt Buck does. He's all roughed up. That's because he doesn't care. He just pitches it out. He's like, here, beat me with my best pitch. And I think that's what a lot of pitchers need to do. They need to pound that inside corner and not be afraid of hit the batter. If you hit the batter, it's part of baseball, man. Now, if you do it intentional, of course, you're going to get a pissed off batter. But I remember when I was pitching in high school, and I used to go to programs where they would help you pitch and try to get a better pitching accuracy and stuff like that. They tell you that like a lot of pitchers don't pitch inside anymore. They'd rather have a batter chase outside. But I mean, sometimes you don't want these batters to extend their arms. You want them to get locked up instead. But a lot of pitchers are scared of hitting the batter. I'm like, dude, like if you hit them, you hit them. That's what it is. I know players didn't care when I hit them. I mean, I didn't even top 70 miles per hour when I pitched. Oh my God, dude. I was a sucky pitcher. I remember one time I was playing and I was just warming up in the bullpen. And I was throwing fastballs, obviously, fastball and curveballs and stuff like that. And the bullpen catcher comes up to me and he's like, hey, man, your changeup's working real damn good today, man. I'm like, what? That was a fastball, homie. What the fuck you talking about? But I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, obviously, I wasn't cut out to be a baseball player. Always loved the game, but never cut out to be a baseball player. Riding the bench all the time. That's what's up. That's why I know a lot about the game, man. All I got to do was fucking see it. But now now we're gonna close off. We're gonna close off the National League West with the sleeping Giants, San Francisco Giants. In my opinion, I think the Giants have a really good team this season. I mean, obviously, I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs because you got if the Dodgers win the division, Dodgers are most likely to win the division, and then you got the Padres that are most likely to pick up the wild card. So that's a given. You got two teams in the West that are going to get two spots in the playoffs in the National League. But, I mean, the Giants have a really good team, so hopefully they can put up a battle for that second wild card, which, I mean, it's going to be kind of weird having three National League West teams in the playoffs. But, I mean, I think they have a good team. I mean, obviously they got Evan Longoria, great third baseman. Yes, he's getting up there in years, but great third baseman. He's in his coming into his 14th season, career average of 266, 1,043 runs batted in. That is really good. He's got an on-base percentage of 334 and a slugging of 473. So I mean, obviously, if Longo can stay healthy, he's going to be a good asset to that lineup. You got Tommy La Stella, which I picked up on my fantasy team. Hoping he does a really good this year. So he's coming into his 8th season, career average of 274, 163 RBIs, and an on-base percentage of 349. I think he may be jumping around in positions. I don't know if he's going to be playing third base because of Longo. I know they've been trying him out at first base right now because he's been playing first base in spring training because Brandon Belt, he got COVID on the offseason, and then he had another mucus issue. So he didn't get to play in spring training, but they're saying that he's going to be able to be up and going for opening day. So I don't know what's going to happen with Tommy La Stella. I'm over here panicking, man. I got him on my fantasy team. But, I mean, the guy can put up good numbers. Hopefully, if he can hit, they'll find him a spot in the lineup. Obviously, he can't be a DH because we're going back into the regular rules for the National League. Not like last year that they just took out the pitchers and the National League had a DH. So hopefully they can find a spot for him in the lineup. You got the shortstop for the Giants, Brandon Crawford, coming into his 11th season. Career average of 250, 564 RBIs, an on-base percentage of 317, and a slugging of 392. I mean, this guy was I mean, it's crazy that he's already coming into his 11th season. I remember I used to watch this guy all the time. I remember people wanting to mimic him playing. I mean, the guy's a really good shortstop. And I mean, he, in my opinion, he didn't really look like a shortstop type of player. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of buff. A lot of shortstops are not, I don't want to say scrawny, but they're more slim. This guy's pretty big, and I mean he's big. He can hit. I mean, the guy's got power. So I mean, he's a really good shortstop, to be honest. He kind of reminds me of like a Dan Uggla. And Uggla was the second baseman, but that guy was like hella short, really buff, hitting slams with the Marlins. Yeah, I remember me and my dad would watch him every time on MLB Network, and he hit a home run and hit like, his name is Dan Uggla. But I mean, kind of sucked. He got traded to the Braves long ago. You got the Giants' everlasting catcher, Buster Posey, coming into his 12th season, career average of 302, 673 runs batted in, and on-base percentage of 370 and a slugging of 456. So, I mean, Buster Posey's always been putting up good numbers. Hopefully, as he as well can stay healthy for the season and help out the Giants. I mean, these three players right here, Brandon Crawford, Buster Posey, and Brandon Belt, are the few that are left from those championship years that the Giants had, those odd years. So I mean, they won 3 World Series in 5 years. They were a really good team. Obviously, the Dodgers didn't have the players that they have now, and the Padres suck. But I mean, the Giants, they didn't have big names when they won the World Series 3 times. I mean, they had decent players, but the thing with the Giants was that they had really good chemistry. They have the chemistry that you see right now in San Diego. Slam Diego. I mean that's what happens when you have good chemistry within your team. You can beat anybody. You can be what, the Orioles, and have a good chemistry, and you could even beat the Giants. You might even be able to beat the Dodgers as long as you have good chemistry and you believe in yourself and you play small ball, man. Anything can happen. So I know that that's one thing that the Giants had back in the day was that they had a really good chemistry and they had decent players that backed each other up, and it worked out for them. So I mean, Brandon Belt, hopefully he's able to play in the beginning of the season. If not, I mean, they got Tommy Stella that can play first base as well. He's coming into his 11th season already, batting 263, RBIs are at 502, and an OBP at 356 and a slugging at 453. So I mean the Giants have decent batting. They have a lot of contact players. I don't think they have a lot of players that'll hit a lot of home runs. So you can see that they're going to be trying to do some plays while they're on base and stuff like that. So hopefully it works out for them, and they have a really good season. And I don't know, they may be competing for that second wild card spot. Never know. Anything can happen. One thing that the Giants, I think, may need some help with coming down if they're gonna just run another season just with what they got, or if they're gonna do some trades. I think some pitching would really benefit them. They got Johnny Cueto coming into his 14th season, career ERA of 3.41, 7.4 Ks per nine. You also got Alex Wood that they picked up, coming into his 9th season, 3.45 ERA, and he's 8.7, 8.7 Ks per nine. So they have decent pitching. I mean, as long as Johnny Cueto can stay healthy, it might help them out. And then right now, I think the guy that's going to lead, the guy that's going to be their ace is going to be Kevin Gausman. I mean, he's coming into his 9th season, pitching 4.26, and he's got an 8.8 Ks per nine. So I honestly think their rotation is going to look like Kevin Gausman, Johnny Cueto, Alex Wood, and 2 fillers. So hopefully it works out for them. Hopefully they can stay healthy and stay competitive. I mean, it's not all about just trying to beat the Dodgers and trying to beat the Padres. I mean, you want to sneak some wins from them, but I mean, you just have to stay competitive against the other 2 teams you got and against the rest of the National League. So in my opinion, they can put up good numbers and stay healthy and have that chemistry that they used to have, they can achieve anything. They have a really good team. In my opinion, the way that this division is going to end up like being, I think is going to be the Dodgers, the Padres, the Giants, the Diamondbacks, and then the Rockies. I honestly think the Rockies are going to end up being last place. So hopefully it goes well for them. Hopefully they have a really good season and they can stay being a good team and give some fans some good wins, man. All right, everybody. With this, we have concluded the National League West. We're going to be talking about the Central next episode. Hopefully we can get a guest in here. I've been in talks with some people and trying to see if we can work out a schedule with them, see if we can have them for the next episode. Also, make sure to follow the account on YouTube as the Hambino podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, and then also there's a little notification center there. If you actually turn that on, it'll let you guys know when the new episode pops up. Make sure you follow the Twitter account at _Hambino. We also have the Instagram account at the Hambino Podcast. And also, guys, we are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Google Podcasts is still kind of meddling in. I'll let you guys know when that is up and running, but we are officially up on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So you guys can look it up as the Hambino Podcast. and we are there. All right, everybody. Hope you guys have a good rest of the week. Enjoy it because there's only a few days left before April 1st. All right, guys. Take care. Bye.